watching Community and how fast paced it is, and knowing a little bit about the mystique surrounding a Dan Harmon, that table and how important the table was a character in the show.
It really was.
You had to break it up.
Yeah.
The table was absolutely a character. I feel like the table was like the table in a writer's room. And I feel like the show worked so well. There were so many scenes that worked with y'all just sitting at the table.
Just at that table.
Because it's a bunch of comedy writers who were just sitting at a table, and Dan Harmon and his crew found a way to bring that table to TV with the community college.
Wow. I like that.
Is that accurate?
I mean, I think it's accurate. I think in the same way that the writers were around their table, we as comedic actors were around that table. And I tell people all the time, and it's our 10th anniversary this year. We just did something with Vulture Fest to celebrate that it's been 10 years since Community debuted. But we spent time at that table trying to make each other laugh.
Okay.
So there's a lot of inside jokes. There's a lot of facial expressions and just really dumb stuff that we did, that it really was because we had so many long hours at the table. Let's fill the time with some foolishness.
Right.
So we always are surprised to see we were surprised to see an episode and realize that some dumb thing we did just for each other made it in.
Right.
So I feel like it was just people just trying stuff out, and it's such a special show for me for that reason. And everyone's gone on to do amazing things, and I'm honored to have been with them, with some of them. Some of them already, had made it, but it was nice to be with some of them as they just discovered who they were going to be.
Like, what was it like? So here's a fun fact.
Yeah.
I think one of the first times Donald Glover was on television was in the season 4 finale of 30 Rock, which is a show that's similar in some ways to Community.
He wrote on that show.
He was a writer on the show, and he wrote a character himself into the thing, and I was also on that episode.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was an episode called Kidney Now,
okay,
where Alan Alda was playing Alec Baldwin's father. He needed a kidney, and they brought all these musicians in, and I was one. I filled in for Adam for the Beastie Boys because he was sick at the time, right? And it was dope. It was super dope. But Donald Glover he's like, Tracy Morgan is talking about how anybody could be who they want to, and he's like, that's for even you, gay kid. And Donald Glover's like, who told? But at that point, I was doing Rock the Bells with Childish Gambino.
Yeah.
Right. He was fully into the Childish Gambino thing. He hadn't developed as the Community hadn't happened really yet for him. What was it like seeing him at that stage of his career?
It's amazing. Donald taught me a lot about redeeming the time and being an effective use of time. He never wastes a moment. So when we would yell cut, when they would yell cut, Donald would go pick up his computer and start writing a song or start writing what would become Atlanta,
right?
Or write comedy bits for his comedy special. Like, he literally always worked. He never slept. And we talked about this today about sleeping. Like, Donald never sleeps. And I remember at the time thinking, well, this is not healthy. Baby's got to sleep. And he said, why? Like, I got stuff to do, and if I'm up, he's not. He's not trying to keep himself up, but while he is up, he uses the time.
Yeah.
And I've said this 1,000 times, but I'll say it again. He is the most extraordinarily talented person in every creative endeavor that I've ever met.
He's fantastic.
I've never met Prince. I never met Michael Jackson. So I always say that as a caveat. But Donald can dance, he can sing, he can crochet, he can bake, he can. I'm not kidding. He can crochet and bake. He can actually crochet and bake. He can do physical comedy. He can do. There's nothing creative that he can't do, and he does it and exhausts it and moves on.
I'm glad you mentioned Atlanta. So you you left the show to take care of your father.
I did.
And I imagine that was a very difficult decision.
Yeah, actually, no, it wasn't. I've never been someone that's impressed with fame. I've never wanted it. I've never chased it. We all got to pay bills, so I do enjoy making a paycheck. So I was concerned about making a living, but I wasn't concerned about where I made the living. And I knew that the way the show was set up, it was not conducive to me taking care of my dad. And
that's right.
I'm family first, so that was not a hard decision for me at all.
I think you're unique with that, though. Yeah. So a lot of people are in this business are chasing fame.
Yeah, I think it's vapor. I think fame is a trick. It's a trick. It's a trap.
It's fleeting.
It's fleeting, and it's not even real. It's not even that it's fleeting. It's not real. It is a mist that you can get caught in, and you can think matters, and it doesn't. I see people like doing all this stuff for the gram and securing the bag. All of this crap is vapor.
Yeah.
And it's the relationships you have with people. It's the good you do in this world. Those things are what matter. I don't care if 1 million people I don't know who I am. You know what I mean? It's nice. I mean, thank you, but that doesn't help me sleep at night if I'm not a decent person. Your soul is what matters. Your kindness level matters. Do you take care of people? Do you fight the good fight even when it doesn't benefit you? Those are the things that people should be famous for, not the jeans they wear and the songs they sing. That's
what
dumb.
You do when no one's looking.
Come on.
What you said was very important because there's a difference between fame and infamy. And I think in this society, especially with the Instagram and stuff, people think, this is what I run into when you and me, we argue online sometimes.
We do.
Right?
We chop it up.
Oh gosh.
What people sometimes criticize me for.
Yeah.
And we can get into the online stuff later, but I want for what you said.
Yeah.
They say you're giving these people a platform.
That's what they say. That's what they say.
And my pushback to that is that what you're telling me is that you value fame too much. And as someone who's been famous for quite some time, let me tell you, it's not all it's cracked up to
really
be.
Not.
Me being a famous person doesn't make me a better person.
Come on.
So the idea that you're saying, well, you're giving this person fame, and shame that devil every time. I want every racist to be famous.
I agree.
So that when we see them coming, we know
Yep.
exactly what they look like, what they're wearing, what they smell like, what they're going to say.
I agree.
And people are run from that because they value fame so much. They see fame as a virtue.
Yeah.
They're like, well, why are you treating these people? You're making
Don't put them on a pedestal.
Right.
That's not always
And
a good
they
thing.
also tell you and me and other people not to speak up because it's like, you got to protect your brand. Come on now.
Right.
Like, first of all, my brand is rebuttal. Anybody that know me knows that. I remember Tank said we were on the set of a New Edition movie, and he just said to me, you are built for rebuttal. And I am. My whole life I've been built for rebuttal. And I'm going to fight every good fight.
That's right.
Amazing.
I don't care what I lose. I've said all the time, I am a legal secretary by trade, and McDonald's is always hiring. So if speaking the truth and fighting for what's right means that I lose fans or lose a career, bye. It's just not that deep.
Whatever's for you is for you anyway. So you saying anything is not going to take away an opportunity that you were already gonna have. And then it's funny because we were just talking about another show, like in today's age, people like people being more authentic. So it's not like you don't have to be worried about your brand on speaking up because they want to know what you really think.
I never think about any of that, and honestly, to be fair, no employer I've ever had has ever said, Yvette. Like, I think people know what they're getting when they hire me because what they also know is that I'm fair, I'm kind. For the most part, I'm not profane. I try not to. You don't see me on Twitter cussing people out. I don't do that. I will call you out, but I don't cuss people out.
Right. You let me do that.
Yeah, I let you do it. I'll be like, get him.
She does a polite read.
Yeah, it's like I believe in a classy read. And also, I have to be on the right side of history. I'm not going to stay quiet when literally the world is on fire.
That's right.
When we're facing a darkness and evil, I am not going to hold my tongue because I want 5 more followers. That's dumb.
That is dumb.
The whole thing is we have these platforms to use them. Why do you think you have 1 million followers if it's not to share what you know about what's good with those people?
That's right. So now I say all that because Donald Glover also left the show before it ended.
He did.
And he left it to focus on Atlanta. I have a theory, and I'm going to float it here.
Do it.
Okay, my theory is that Donald Glover, if you listen to Childish Gambino music, a lot of it, when it deals with race, talks about people's ideas of what a black man should be. And he had a lot of white fans, and he made fun of himself in his music, like saying only white girls listen to it and this and that. And Community, as one of my favorite shows, I'll be honest, none of my black friends watch the show, right? So I would talk to my black friends in Brooklyn. They'd be like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And so I feel like Donald Glover, who's a guy who grew up in Georgia, my theory is that as good as he was doing on Community, he needed to do something that was black.
For his people.
Yeah, I feel like and the blackest thing you could do is write a show called Atlanta.
Yeah.
It doesn't get more black.
This is the thing though about Donald. Donald is very black. I think that people they get what he wears and maybe that he's soft-spoken or whatever. They get it twisted. Yeah. He's very black.
Absolutely.
And I feel like he had to
go grab that for.
Well, he wanted to make Atlanta because I feel like he wanted to show the fullness of what we are. And he loves absurdity. Yeah. He loves weird things and he loves making people uncomfortable.
Right.
He's, that period he went through where he was wearing like the Hawaiian shorts and the white t-shirt everywhere. I think he loved that. I think he loved the people. What is he doing? And he was like, yeah, let him try to figure out what I'm doing. Not from a calculated space, but from a space of let me just live.
Changing the perception.
I'm gonna live in this season of time. And those that can ride, let's ride. If you can't ride, it's okay.
Right.
I think that's how he does that's how he feels about everything he does.
Right.
What we done started. Look at what we done started. This the people party. unity knocking. And young nigga move that door, whoa. Get your foot stuck in it, call me young, go get it. They can't fuck with it, might as well go with it.